Welcome back to Ain't For The Weak Talk Show. This part 438. Now today just gonna be another life day, you know. Now today I just want to start off by saying, it's time we, start asking ourselves, what we gonna be in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you want to be in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself at in the next 10 years? What goals do you have? What mindset are you heading towards, as far as career? What are you gonna do now that's gonna get you there? How can you help the youth become greater? How can you become a better person by bettering yourself? It's just a lot of questions as far as life, How can you become a better person? How can the person in the mirror, become a better person and bring forth brightness into the world instead of negativity? Because it's a million people that's doing negative, and you see where that's getting them. They living a rough life. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. The people that's out there doing and they ain't putting they self and putting God first and getting right within, I'm pretty sure they living a rough life. And that's just reality of it. So what do you have planned for the next 5 to 10 years? What goals, like what steps are you doing? You can talk about it all you want to. You can talk about you gonna build this and you can do this and you gonna participate in this and you can lie to your woman, you can lie to your husband, you can lie to your kids and all that. But in reality, what steps are you taking to do that? And I feel like we all can relate to that because we all been there when we said we want to do this and we want to do that, and 3-4 weeks can pass and you have not done nothing. I'm guilty as charged. I've been there before. Where you might have said you're going to do this and you wanted to be this or become that, but you never started. And then 5 years came and then you looking back like, where did that 5 years go? Because we all have to start now, and we all become stagnant sometime. I get that. Everybody want to, this and this and this and this and this and this, but there's no excuses because if I can do it, you can do it. Not hating, not with a handout, not with nobody supporting, not with nobody doing none of that. But what is your 5-year plans? What are you willing to do in these 5 years to make that happen? Without robbing, killing, destroying, or, you see what I'm saying? Or being a narcissist to situations or trying to control people. When can you get right within and really get it right? Yeah.